Hey, what's going on, guys? This is NukiN, and I make videos all the time about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We're going to be jumping right into Han's Millennium Falcon ship legendary event. It's called Flight of the Falcon. Now, OT, Chewbacca, and Raid Han are now going to be pilots of this ship, and in this event, you use the bounty hunters to unlock this ship. So we're going to go through tiers 1 all the way up to tier 7. We'll also maybe take a look at the Devastator if there's some extra time, and that's going to be very interesting because that is piloted by Darth Vader, which is interesting because he's also a pilot. And hopefully everyone can unlock this ship. It unlocks at 5 stars, and good luck to everyone going for those final stars, tier 6 and tier 7. So I'm going to showcase some strategies in this video, and we're going to get right into it starting right now. So let's get started going through the first few tiers. So we're going to do tier 1 through tier 4 on basically like ×4 or ×8 speed, really fast. So what's going on here? Plo Koon is saying that we're using a different ship, but it's similar to the Executrix. So we'll take a look at what's under the hood later on in the video, probably right before the final tier, and see what's going up. We shouldn't have any difficulty doing the first few tiers, especially tiers 1 through tier 4. So let's get through this really fast. So it looks like we're going to be going up against Han's Millennium Falcon, so we're fighting off against the ship that we're trying to unlock. Just finished tier 1, and we have the capability of running 4 different bounty hunter ships. So you're only going to have one reinforcement capability of, one reinforcement actually may not even happen depending on how difficult this event is. But I speculated that Xanadu's Blood and Slave 1 would be the best sort of reinforcement to use as your 4th ship, and we're just testing out Xanadu Blood in the reinforcement position. And so far we're just we did a sort of manual battle for tier 1, and we're just kind of testing out how difficult this event. We're just going to switch to auto and see if we can just auto this. Yeah, it looks like we can. So as long as you have some decent ships, it looks like you can auto. Xanadu's Blood reinforcement didn't really get anything going there because the battle was already won, but we're going to see if that has any sort of merit in the final tiers. I'm actually beginning to think that Slave 1 might actually be the best sort of reinforcement to use for this particular event. Maybe not so much PvE and fleet arena, but it seems like Slave 1 actually might be the best sort of reinforcement bounty hunter to use for this specific particular event. So wrapping up tier 4, that was pretty quick, not too difficult whatsoever. So now we're going to slow things down as we get into tier 5. So this is the tier where you're going to get to unlock Han's Millennium Falcon. It unlocks at 5 stars. So we're going to continue running our Xanadu Blood and see what is up. So here is the animation. I'm liking it. I love when Empire ships just drop in out of either the what do you call it? Oh god, I'm blanking on it. Outer space? No, come on. I forgot. Oh well, they come out through warp time. No, oh well, I'm such a failure of being a nerd with my lore. But anyways, I love that sound when they go boop boop boop, and I love the sound of the Imperial TIE Fighter. So, and yes, it is very late, so I am a little delirious. So this is tier 5. We're going to be doing it on manual, no auto here, and it seems like we're just facing off against the same exact enemy units, and they're just getting slightly tougher as the tiers go up. So here we're going to call our Xanadu Blood reinforcement, but it doesn't seem like it's a good time. Maybe I should have just done a basic attack, but I just want to get all of our ships out on the field. Now, our Xanadu Blood has given retribution up to all of our ships, but that just got dispelled from Han's Millennium Falcon. So on our IG-2000, and actually he just died. So that's our first ship sort of death or being destroyed out of this whole entire event. So in tier 5, if you have, not the strongest IG-2000, expect maybe a death of one of your ships. Probably IG-2000 because it might be one of your weakest ships that you haven't exactly worked on. So that didn't appear to be very difficult. So tier 5 wasn't too tough. So I think a lot of people, if you have at least the stars on your ships, you should be able to unlock the Han's Millennium Falcon. So that's not going to be the bottleneck. The bottleneck is going to be grinding the characters. So now let's go into tier 6, and we're going to use the same Xanadu blood as a reinforcement to see if it's going to be still, if we can get any sort of value. I'm thinking no, because we're just going to be able to put the retribution up, but then it's going to be kind of quickly dispelled by Han's Millennium Falcon, so that's not going to help too much. So these ships in tier 6 now are looking to be tougher, but we were quickly able to take out that one ship on the left side. Now we're down to Han's Millennium Falcon, and what's that ship on the right side? I forgot. Is it the Y-Wing? The A-Wing? The B-Wing? I think it's the B-Wing? I don't know either. My lore is failing. So now let's call in our Xanadu blood and see if we can see any value from this. So we have a bunch of retribution on our bounty hunter ships. Woo! Oh, we weren't able to take him out. That's unfortunate. And here is another ship that came out. Oop, basic attack. There we go. From Hound's Tooth. And do we see anything? We still have our retribution. And oh, that ship's down now. Very nice. But our retribution got dispelled on our IG-2000. So it doesn't really seem like Xanadu blood is actually the... Yeah, I'm starting to think that Xanadu blood is actually going to be best in the starting rotation for this event. So we just beat tier 6, and before we get into the final tier, tier 7, let's really quickly take a look at what we've been using this whole time. So the Devastator, this is a new capital ship. We've never been able to, fight against this or use it in any way. So Darth Vader is the fleet commander. He's fully Omega'd and Zeta'd, so that's what's under the hood. No mods on Darth Vader, so I guess the ship could be stronger. The victory through power seems very similar to Tarkin, so I think this is kind of like basically kind of a reskin of Tarkin, but on top of that, there is something new here, the reinforcement bonus. So this is going to grant the retribution for 3 turns. Now, Tarkin's Executrix does this normally, but on top of that, this is brand new. Dispel all buffs on the target enemy when an ally enters battle. So very interesting that it adds on top of the existing sort of Executrix kit. So let's take a look and see if there's anything different here. The basic looks and appears to be the same. The AoE special looks to be exactly the same. And let's take a look at the ultimate. The ultimate looks exactly the same as well. That might be the only difference. And the other special, that looks the same, but I'm not sure if the cooldown is the same. It probably is. So I think that's interesting. Now, one last thing that I wanted to highlight was the Devastator is an Empire ship, but there's no Sith tag, and Darth Vader also is a Sith. So maybe in the future of ships, we might have capital ships that don't actually have more than one tag. I don't know. Very interesting to see this other sort of ship in a different mode of some kind, even if it's an event. So let's get back into the mode and the event itself, actually. So now that we're speaking of that, let's jump right into tier 7 and unlock the final star of Han's Millennium Falcon. So we're going to start slowing things down here. This is the animation, of course, where Han's Millennium Falcon is intercepted and the bounty hunter ships are coming to capture Han's Millennium Falcon. So here we go. Final tier. Let's see what we can do. So I'm opting in for Slave 1 as my reinforcement for the first time. I think it's going to be the best, and it's nice to have some early breach with Xanadu blood in the beginning. So let's go for that ship on the left side there and try to apply breach. Good. Now I believe we want to do basic attack. That's going to do double with IG-2000 on breached enemies. Great. Now an AoE attack should take that out, so I'm going to go for the ship on the right side. Good. So very quickly able to make this a 2v3 battle. Let's start off with our AoE special here, and we've landed some exposes. So some tips and tricks are, we're going to start off to tips and tricks early on. Try to land breach right away. Try to get some ability block and expose. If none of those those debuffs land, then possibly you want to restart right away. Oh, we lost our IG-2000 so early. That might happen to a lot of people. Mine's not geared up super high. Now let's bring in our Slave 1 and get some action going. So we're able to dispel all those buffs on the character on the right side. Very good. And now, oh, but we lost our buffs as well because of Hans Millennium Falcon. Let's reapply and get some breach going down by re-taunting with Houndstooth. And now this should do a double attack with the breach. Boom, boom, boom. Very nice. I like that. And now let's do a big power up. This is going to give offense up, defense pen with that special and try and take out this ship. Let's do a basic there with Slave 1. Let's do a assist attack with Slave 1 as well, because Slave 1 does more damage than Houndstooth. I don't even think that was required because of that big damage output. Okay, so we still can't attack Hans Millennium Falcon now. Keep in mind, you can only attack him when he is the only ship left. So let's keep going for that ship on the left there. Ooh, that ship is about dead. One basic attack. Boom, very nice. So now we can attack Hans Millennium Falcon. Let's do an attack with the ship here, the Devastator. Dodge. Now, yep, Hans Millennium Falcon does have increased dodge rate as well with the outmaneuver buff, I believe it's what it's called. Oh, we lost our Slave 1. Wow, very impressive. So we're down to 2 out of our 4 ships. This is gonna be close. Let's do some basic attacks and try land breach. Oh, Hans Millennium Falcon cleanses the breach, but here is the capability of doing defense pen and offense up. Let's do a basic here. Come on, big damage, double attack. Boom, done. Nice. So that is a difference. I think the defense pen and offense might only be granted, or one of those buffs only granted to Imperial allies, and this was granted to Bounty Hunter allies as well. So that actually might be another difference from what we were taking a look at the Devastator. So that wasn't actually too bad of a legendary event. I was expecting to have a little bit of a harder time, but it seems like if you can collect the stars, you should be able to unlock the tier that you're going for this event. So very good news for a lot of players out there. If you're struggling, leave a comment down below and ask some questions. I'll try and help you guys out. And let me know also down below in the comments section what star Hans Millennium Falcon you unlocked and whether you're thinking about running him in the starting rotation or as a reinforcement ship. As always, I make videos all the time, so subscribe and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Cheers.